After the European Union announced it was lifting its financial restrictions towards Burundi's government, residents of the country's largest city, Bujumbura, are relieved and hope this decision will improve the fragile economic situation.
I think that this measure has come at the right moment, and Burundi will actually benefit from it.
These sanctions had been taken more than 6 years ago. The EU accused Burundi of human rights violations amid mass protests. According to a news website in Brussels, the EU used to be the country's biggest aid donor.
It is a measure that has caused us so much grief, but fortunately, the makers of this decision have now got their act together and unconditionally lifted it. Now, we hope that everything will go the right way, and above all, the economy will grow significantly.
The EU says the decision was taken after a peaceful political process in the 2020 election, and a similar step was taken last November by the US. NGOs condemned the move, claiming repression in the country is alarming, raising concerns over torture and enforced disappearance.
Wheat prices have gone through the roof in Cameroon. On Wednesday, the Association of Millers announced it suspended deliveries of flour and wheat bran throughout the country. Even the Bakers Syndicate said it won't be able to cope with production costs. Every year, a price rise hits us. This time, a 3,000 franc rise is looming. The price of a bag of flour is up to 22,500 CFA francs from 19,500 francs. The cost has almost doubled. Since the price of bread won't budge, it will be very hard on us bakers. And if the government doesn't help, we will have to close down. All those who can no longer afford wheat when the project hasn't got out of stock explore new alternatives. The government has encouraged the use of wheat substitutes like cassava. Pastriku Kewotinje is now involved in the production of cassava wheat. We peel off the skin of cassava and we pay attention that we get all of the skin out. When it is clean, we systematically take off the thin membrane that you can see here. And when it goes off, it is this very membrane that we recover, and we will make of it flour. The Cameroonian tradesman launched 7 years ago his cassava wheat brand named Enek. His business was awarded the original challenge prize last January. Now he thinks big. What I mean by dreaming big is to set up industrial units on a large scale that enable us to consistently produce flour. Now we produce between 300 to 500 kilos a year. If we achieve our project to set up this unit, we will double our production. According to the Food and Agriculture Organization, international prices of all major cereal increased in October. As a result, many countries now face a record food bill. If British-based Bilal Fawaz strikes a pose with his head held high, he was at death's door. The light middleweight boxing champion survived modern-day slavery during his childhood.
What I remember was torture. I remember pain, I remember suffering, I remember hunger. There were sometimes we didn't eat for the whole day because we didn't have food. My mom had to sell our clothes because she had to pay for food to get us food. Sometimes she didn't eat because we had to eat. And because of that, she took her anger out of me because I was the most, not rebellious, but the most active.
The Nigerian-born grew up in the West African country with his mother from Benin. His arrival in the UK at 14 marked the beginning of an ordeal. He was trafficked and abused.
When I was in that house and I was kept there and they said, you have to stay here, your dad is going to come and pick you up. Realistically speaking, I realized that my dad was never going to come. So I decided to pick up my leg and run out of the house several times. And then all of a sudden, I ran so far that I couldn't turn back. And then I realized that this is my path. I then ended up staying on the streets and crying. And then a man saw me and picked me up and said, I'll take you to the social services that I know where to take you to. And then Ever since I was a child of the government.
Ever since, he also picked up a new routine. As Bilal gained a sports diploma and took up boxing, he became a title-winning champion, but a cloud remained on the horizon. He has never been granted the UK citizenship.
I've done everything that is supposed to be done to be crowned a British citizen. I've done everything. I represented you, and then they locked me up after representing them, and then they took away my educational adventure. They took away my Olympic dreams. They took away my opportunity to have a family. I'm still fighting legal proceedings with the Home Office right now. Why are they making life difficult for me? There's no way for them to deport me because the Nigerian embassy says they don't know me.
Before Fawaz becomes a UK citizen and fulfills his dream of fighting professionally in the US, his Friday fight will mark his professional boxing debut.
Tunisia Judges Association on Wednesday suspended works in all courts in the country. This action is intended to protest President Kais Said's move to dissolve the Supreme Judicial Council, according to the group's Facebook page. They are also calling for a protest in front of the Supreme Judicial Council on Thursday. Ambassador of G7 European Union member countries in Tunisia are worried about President Kais Said's decision to dissolve the Supreme Council of the Judiciary. In a joint statement on Tuesday, both parties say they were deeply concerned by the president's decree, which intends to tamper with the functioning of the judicial system and respect for its independence. President Said, who assumed full power in July, announced on Saturday night the dissolution of the Supreme Council, a body he accused of bias. The Tunisian police closed its headquarters in Tunis on Monday, a measure deemed illegal by its president.
A prominent Ugandan novelist who was charged with insulting President Yoweri Museveni and his son has fled the country out of fear for his life. His lawyer, Aaron Kiza, made this known on Wednesday, saying Kakwenza Rukirabashaja was now seeking medical treatment abroad for injuries inflicted during his time in jail. 33-year-old Rukirabashaja last year won an international award given to persecuted writers and was detained shortly after Christmas. He was later charged with offensive communication in a case that has raised international concern, with the European Union among those calling for a comprehensive investigation into rights abuses in Uganda. The writer said he was tortured in custody and appeared on television at the weekend to reveal painful-looking welts crisscrossing his back and scars on other parts of his body. The charges against him relate to unflattering comments on Twitter about President Museveni, who has ruled Uganda since 1986, and his powerful son, Muhoozi Kainerugaba. In one post, he described the president's son as obese and a curmudgeon. The novelist was released on bail last month, with his trial due to begin on March 23.
As evidenced by